In 2026, Aldi controls more than 2,300 stores across the United States, yet over 90% of the products inside those stores are not national brands. They are Aldi brands. That means when you walk into Aldi, you are not walking into an open marketplace. You are walking into a controlled retail ecosystem. And once you understand how that ecosystem is structured, the low price miracle starts to look less accidental and more engineered. Most shoppers believe Aldi simply found a way to be cheaper. But cheap is not a personality trait. Cheap is a structural outcome, and structures are designed. So today we are going to break down exactly how Aldi built this machine, why it works, and what it means for American shoppers in 2026. Number 1. The private label domination. Walk into a traditional supermarket and you will see brand warfare. Cereal brands fighting for eye-level placement. Soda brands competing for cooler space. Yogurt brands stacked side by side trying to win your trust. Now, walk into Aldi and look carefully. You won't see warfare. You will see uniformity. Over 90% of Aldi's inventory is private label. This means Aldi controls the product formulation, the supplier contract, the packaging, the pricing, and the shelf placement. In 2026, this domination has entered its most aggressive phase, yet the namesake brand takeover. Starting in September 2025, Aldi launched its largest packaging refresh in history, drastically reducing its internal brands from 90 down to just 26 core labels. Several older sub-brands are being replaced entirely by the Aldi name, while iconic fan favorites like Clancy's, Simply Nature, and Specially Selected now carry a bold, modernized, and Aldi original endorsement on the front of every package. This move is designed to make their exclusive products even more recognizable, as millions of new shoppers defect from high-priced national competitors. By putting their own name front and center, they are signaling a new level of confidence in their vertical control. By early 2026, this strategy has effectively turned the store into a living advertisement for the Aldi supply chain. The consolidation of these brands allows for a more streamlined production process, reducing the overhead costs associated with managing dozens of fragmented sub-identities. This eliminates visible competition inside the store. When comparison disappears, perception becomes controlled. You aren't just trusting a random brand, you are trusting Aldi's internal testing and tasting team, who rigorously taste test every product up to 5 times before it hits the shelf for nearly everything you consume. This isn't just cost, efficiency. It's a structural, psychological fortress. Number 2, choice filtering and the simplicity illusion. Aldi stores feel calm, small footprint, fewer aisles, limited options. That simplicity feels refreshing in a world of overwhelming choice. But simplicity is not the same as transparency. The average American supermarket carries between 30,000 and 40,000 products. Aldi carries roughly 1,500 to 2,000. That is a 95% reduction in options. When you choose peanut butter at Aldi, you are not choosing between 12 varieties. You are choosing from what survived Aldi's internal cost-benefit algorithm. This model reduces waste and complexity, but in early 2026, Aldi is taking this filtering to the digital realm. They are launching a redesigned website and digital experience designed to make shopping even more personalized. This new platform includes tailored product recommendations and built-in tools to support shoppers in meal planning. In plain English, that means their algorithms will start suggesting specific products based on your data, further narrowing the choice you have. This digital integration is part of a broader 2026 initiative to bridge the gap between in-store simplicity and online data mining. By nudging you towards specific Aldi originals, they are not just helping you shop. They are ensuring you stay within their high-margin, vertically integrated loop. While it feels like a concierge service, it effectively builds a walled garden where your visibility into the full market is obscured by what Shein thinks you should buy. Furthermore, the limited footprint means faster dwell times. Shoppers spend less time deciding and more time simply putting pre-approved items in their carts. Filtered simplicity feels like freedom, but it actually centralizes total control over your consumption habits. Number 3, the loss leader anchor strategy. Now let's talk about why shoppers feel like Aldi is dramatically cheaper. Aldi strategically prices staple goods, milk, eggs, bread, and basic produce extremely competitively. These are called anchor products. In early 2026, Aldi reaffirmed its price promise, revealing that more than 2/3, 69% of its range, is priced under $5, and 2 in 5 products, 40%, are under $3. This price promise is a commitment that the cost of a weekly shop will always be cheaper at Aldi, often maintaining a 16.8% price gap advantage over major competitors. When consumers see baby wipes for $1.89 or baby food starting at 95 cents, the brain automatically assumes the entire store is cheaper. Behavioral economics proves that once shoppers confirm 3 to 5 trusted low-price items, they dramatically reduce comparison behavior for the rest of their cart. This is why Aldi consistently reviews all prices, applying permanent reductions to nearly 1 in every 5 products in their everyday range over the last year. This followed a staggering 300 permanent price reductions made in 2025 alone. For 2026, they have expanded this strategy to include higher-end items like organic salmon and specialty cheeses, ensuring that the anchor effect covers every demographic of shopper. By relentlessly highlighting these price cuts, they create a perpetual sense of urgency and victory for the shopper. Once trust is established, impulse resistance drops and basket size increases. The anchor of cheap milk keeps you anchored in the store, allowing the private label margins on everything else to quietly balance the books. Number 4, the middle aisle scarcity engine. The famous middle aisle, often called the aisle of shame, is not random chaos. It is engineered scarcity. Each store receives limited quantities of rotating products under the Aldi Finds banner: appliances, tools, outdoor gear, and seasonal goods. Scarcity activates urgency. When shoppers believe supply is limited, which it truly is, as these items are often once they're gone, decision-making shifts from logical comparison, emotional acquisition. In 2026, these deals are even more targeted, with fans proudly wearing head-to-toe Aldi gear and sharing recommendations in Facebook groups with over 3.8 million members. If I don't buy this now, I might never see it again. This sentence drives conversion. Because Aldi's brand already signals savings, shoppers rationalize impulse purchases faster, believing they are still winning financially. This middle aisle generates significantly higher margins than staple goods, balancing the low price perception anchors. This scarcity engine is supported by a massive corporate analyst workforce, uses advanced analytics to plan these high margin surprises with surgical precision. By early 2026, Aldi is even integrating social media sentiment analysis to decide which products to stock in the middle aisle. Next, ensuring a near-perfect sell-through rate. It is not accidental treasure. It is a meticulously planned, rotating, controlled demand engine that forces you to check the aisle every single week just to see what you might miss. Number 5, the labor compression model. Aldi runs lean. Staffing is minimal compared to traditional supermarkets. While other chains might have 30 employees per store, Aldi operates with roughly 5 employees per store in the US. This is not efficiency magic. It is a labor model built for speed. Workers are incentivized to be highly efficient, with performance tracked on tasks such as checkout speed and how quickly they can unload bulk deliveries. Aldi pays for this productivity, often paying more in the US than peers like Trader Joe's and Walmart, but this model shifts minor labor tasks onto you. Customers bag their own groceries. Customers rent their carts for a quarter so Aldi doesn't have to hire cart collectors. Every removed service reduces operational cost, which equals pricing flexibility. But make no mistake, this is cost redistribution. Bagging becomes your job, and cart management becomes your responsibility. To keep this engine running in 2026, Aldi is investing in new distribution centers, Florida, Arizona, and Colorado to further compress their supply chain. They are even redesigning store layouts down to the dumpster placement to save every possible second of employee time. In 2026, they are trialing intelligent shelf-filling sensors that alert the 5-person crew the exact moment a product runs out, minimizing dead time on the shop floor. You aren't just a shopper, you are an essential, unpaid component of their logistics chain. Number 6. The quality transparency question. Private label dominance raises one critical question: quality oversight. Every exclusive Aldi product is free from certified synthetic colors and undergoes rigorous testing up to 5 times. They work closely with suppliers to ensure their Aldi original range matches the quality national leaders. However, because competitors are not sitting side by side on the shelf, you are not visually comparing ingredient lists. You rely on Aldi's internal standards rather than open market comparison. This is structural trust. In 2026, Aldi is leaning into storytelling to communicate why their products deserve a place in your basket, yet this communication is always within their controlled environment. While they promote sustainability, like increasing sustainable products by 10% and improving water stewardship, the actual quality benchmarking happens outside your view. When a single retailer controls 90% of its inventory, they decide what quality means for your budget. By 2026, they have expanded their double quality guarantee, which offers both a refund and a replacement for any item you aren't satisfied, with further insulating you from looking for alternatives outside their system. You are buying into a system that has decided what quality looks like for you before you ever saw the box. They've already done the thinking, so you don't have to. But that thinking is always optimized for their own structural resilience. Number 7. The 2026 expansion and real estate shark. In 2026, Aldi is celebrating its 50th anniversary in the US by doubling down on its nationwide expansion. They plan to open more than 180 new stores across 31 states this year alone. They aren't just a grocer. They are a real estate powerhouse. By the end of 2026, they will operate nearly 2,800 U.S. locations, pushing toward a goal of 3,200 by 2028. They are entering Colorado for the first time, with 50 stores planned for the Denver and Colorado Springs markets, supported by a new distribution center in Aurora. They are also entering Maine as their 40th state. This aggressive growth is powered by $9 billion in investment through 2028. They are snapping up land in high-growth markets like Phoenix, where they plan to add 40 new stores by 2030 in 2026. Their real estate arm is specifically targeting food deserts, where they can establish a monopoly as the only accessible grocer. By securing these strategic locations early, they create a high barrier to entry for any competitor hoping to challenge their regional dominance. This expansion ensures that no matter where you live, you are never more than a few miles from an Aldi brand. They are effectively territory staking to ensure they dominate the landscape before competitors can react. Number 8. The Aldi effect on local markets. When Aldi enters a new market, local grocery prices often drop. Economists call this the Aldi effect. Competing stores are forced to reduce prices just to keep their customers from defecting to the no-frills giant. This creates consumer benefit beyond Aldi itself. However, in 2026, Aldi is doing more than just opening new doors, it's converting old ones. Following its acquisition of Southeastern Grocers, Aldi is in the process of converting approximately 80 Winn-Dixie and Harvey's locations to the Aldi format this year. By the end of 2027, they plan to have converted over 200 stores. Since March 2024, they have already converted nearly 90 stores. While this increases savings for local families, potentially up to $4,000 a year for a family of 4, it also reshapes competitive landscapes. Smaller independent grocers struggle to compete with a machine that can scale so efficiently. By early 2026, local business coalitions have begun to express concern that the Aldi effect is hollowing out mid-tier grocers who can't match the labor compression or private label margins. Efficiency rewards scale, and scale inevitably reduces market diversity as the Aldi movement transforms into a dominant national force that others rely on temporary discounts to compete with. Number 9. The controlled ecosystem reality. When you combine private label dominance, choice filtering, anchor pricing, scarcity psychology, and labor compression, you do not simply get a discount grocery store. You get a vertically controlled ecosystem. In 2026, this ecosystem is becoming even more high-tech. Aldi is launching a redesigned store website to help customers locate products and plan trips with tailored recommendations. While it feels simple and efficient, every simplified system concentrates power somewhere. Aldi's corporate data and analytics team is larger as a share of their workforce than Costco's or Trader Joe's. By 2026, they are using this data to predict inventory needs with such accuracy that they have virtually eliminated the stockout issues seen in traditional retailers. The store footprint is small, but the data footprint is massive. It feels cheaper, but it's a high-precision machine designed to maximize turnover while reducing your roll to a predictable data point. By mid-2026, Aldi's influence over the American supply chain will be so strong that they can effectively dictate terms to manufacturers, further tightening the loop of their controlled ecosystem. In the Aldi system, control sits internally with the corporate analysts and the buying and quality teams, not on the shelf where you can see it. So now the real question becomes this. Is Aldi simply outsmarting inefficient traditional grocery chains and protecting American wallets during the 2026 cost of living crisis? Or is Aldi building a controlled retail environment where visibility is reduced, comparison disappears, and perception is carefully managed? If you believe Aldi is a smart efficiency machine working in your favor, type SMART in the comments. If you believe there is more happening inside that small footprint store than most shoppers realize, type system. I will pin the strongest argument from both sides. Because whether you love Aldi or question it, one thing is clear. Retail is no longer just about price. It is about structure. And structure determines power.